Hey guys, happy 2023. This video will be posted on January 1st of 2023. So hopefully you've started the year off on the right foot and you started watching this video. In this video, we actually add 3 more servers to the server room down there. I went to Toronto and picked up 3 octominers from the gentleman who is renting out the space down there in the server room, and we installed 2 30 amp circuits at the back of the server room, which I'm not going to show you. We just got it installed so we could have these octominers up and running. We had to do some configuration changes to the thermal exhaust in order to accommodate for these new octominers, which I'd never used before, nor did I ever plan on having those in the basement. But he had extra servers he couldn't use at his house, so he said, can you take everything that I have and let it run in your server room? And I said, okay, yeah, we'll do that. So anyways, we go through this video, we do a little bit of optimization of his servers just to make sure that each one of his octominers are optimized for efficiency, so he can turn one on knowing that, you know, it's the best server to turn on during these hard times. In 2022, we went through a whole bunch of different things. We went through ebbs and flows of the market. We went through ebbs and flows of mining and the uncertainty of the ETH merge and what have you. And there's been a lot more stuff that's gone on in 2022 that we wish never happened, such as the FTX collapse and a whole bunch of negative stuff through crypto. I hope 2023 is going to be a little bit better, but you never know. I think it's going to take a long time to overcome some of the shortfalls that happened in 2022. So for now, all of my stuff is turned off, but his stuff is turned on, and because he's got A2000s, and those are as efficient as you can get. So he's still mining with his A2000s, and I'll show you that in this video. There's going to be a couple of new videos coming up. It takes me forever to do a video just because of the editing and stuff, but we have a whole bunch of hard drive mining videos, and I'm going to show you some chia videos that I've done in the server room. And actually that's probably the most fun have had actually making any of these servers, the hard drive mining configuration and all that stuff. I know a lot of people make fun of it, but now everyone's jumping on it because the GPU mining is not profitable. Shocking. Anyways, follow your heart, research the coin that you want to follow for the rest of what have you, and you can't go wrong if you're just continuously researching new coins and not going for profit. You're going for what you believe is the future. And I believed years ago that chia had a lot of room to grow and that they were going to be a good platform because of their green technology. Anyways, we'll do that in another video. For this one, we're pumping in another 36 GPUs into that room, and it worked out awesome. So stick along for the ride. We'll hopefully have a better 2023, and I'll see you there. Thanks, guys. Okay, so here we are back in the mining server room, and is it ever quiet? The only computer that is on is this one here, which is my Plex and Chia server, and it's not even fully utilized because we had to take out a whole bunch of drives because we blew them up. All of that's in the description, and we're going to be recovering that here shortly, but for the time being, we are going to be turning on 3 of these servers here. Each one of these is 8 A2000s, so 8, 16, and 24. But the issue is these are all rented servers, and the user of these servers wants to add these to a different Hive OS account. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to remove these 3 bottom servers, flash the SSDs with the new configs, and then turn them back on. So we're gonna start with the bottom 3 first, flash all 3 of those SSDs, turn them back on, take a look at Hive, see if we can get them up and going, and then he can have access to those. The other issue that we're going to have to deal with is we want to eventually get these 3 Octaminers, which have 12 GPUs in them. Right now, they are just a random conglomerate of 3080s, 3070s, A2000s, just a random bunch of GPUs. And what I'm going to do is in this video, I'm going to consolidate all of the A2000s into one. So that'll be 12 A2000s, so that'll be an efficient rig. And then the next rig is going to be A2000s and 3070s slash 3060s. So that'll be another efficient rig. And then the third and final one will just be basically 3090s slash 3080s. And if he decides that he wants to put on a heavy hitter that is consuming a lot of power, then he can turn on the third rig. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to get these 3 back up and running. Then we're going to consolidate those 2 rigs to 2 efficient and then 1 kind of just a beast mode. Stack 3 of those here. And then we're going to take these 3 servers on top of those. And it's going to go, I've already done the measurements, it'll probably go up to here, which means we're probably going to have to move this hood fan over a little bit in order to get them all stacked up. And then we're going to get the exhaust here, which is coming. Right now it's going down to there. It'll just actually do a direct 90-degree right into the top of them. So this is a whole configuration thing, but the first thing is it's really cold in here because nothing is on. You can see that it's 21 degrees at the back of the server case and 21 degrees in the front of the server case, and there is nothing on in here. So we need to get some heat, and to start that off is we're just going to get these 3 servers back up and going. So here we go. Let's take them out and see what we got to deal with. All right, we've got all the 2 servers out here. I think it's like Rooster and Jester or something like that. Look pretty good. You can do some movement here with the spacing slightly. Probably do a little bit of cable management, fix this spacing up a little bit here, and then we'll blow these out, just dust them off, get a little bit of dust off. And I think that all the hard drives are basically right here, really easily accessed. And this one over here is just on top, which I typically do, and I'm going to do that for the other 2 here. So it's a lot easier to kind of access the hard drive, take it out, reflash it, toss it back in. All of the A2000s are perfectly aligned and the cable management is fine. Like I said, I'm just going to blow this out, get rid of some of the dust, probably push it to the back there, and over here I'll do the same. So we'll get these cleaned up, take the hard drives out, which is 1 here and 1 here, reflash them, and then we'll put them back in the server and turn them on. It should be easy, but those are the famous last words. Okay, so we've got this one up and going. Really odd though, I did a clean flash of Hive OS, and I ended up having to clear the status file. I couldn't upgrade the OS because it kept on having an issue with the package. So I just cleared the status file, renamed the old status file that's on there, and then it worked. I'll post the steps in the description, but I've never had to do anything on a clean install. It usually just works, but for some reason this one is not working, and maybe it might be the build. But anyways, we found the solution. Hopefully there's no other issues with it, so we'll just toss the lid on this, and then we'll get together with the next 2, and then we're gonna work on getting these 3 up and going. And once those are going, we'll start tackling that. Sweet. Okay, so all 6 are back online. They're not mining currently because we put them on a new Hive OS account and my customer hasn't set the overclocks on them, so I'm gonna let him set the overclocks. I think he's gonna mine ETC for a bit, but in the meantime, until he turns those back on. I'm going to take a look at the GPUs that he has in here, and we're going to like consolidate the A2000s into one, and then A2000s plus 3060s and the really low hanging fruit, low GPU cards in here. And then the third one will be a beast. So let's get to it and take a look at what we've got inside of these. All right, so in order to consolidate basically the most efficient cards into 2 rigs, we're going to be removing about 5 GPUs from this rig here, putting in the remaining A2000s. So this is going to be full of A2000s, 12 A2000s. Then this one here is going to be a combination of A2000s and 3060s slash 3070s. So we have a couple of smaller cards here. We got a 3060 there and a 3060 there. We got a 3070 there. So basically the first 2 octominers are going to be filled with A2000s and lower power draw cards, so for more efficiency. That way we're going to be able to turn on 2 octominers out of the 3 and still have the absolute best efficiency in terms of hash rate and power draw. So when we come back here, you're going to see 2 of these rigs filled with smaller cards, and then I'll show you all the cards that we're going to put in the third one, which who knows when we're going to be able to put that one back on. All right, we've got them all set up. A2000s, 12 of them here. This one's a combination of A2000s and 3070s and 3060s and one 3070 Ti, which is, that one is not as efficient as the others, but it's 12 of them fit in here, so that's the second most efficient rig. And then we've got this one here, which is just filled with 3090s. There's 2 Founders Edition 3090s on the ends. These are 3080s, I think, 3080s or 3090s. So yeah, this is a huge beast, and most likely that one's not going to be turned on, just due to its inefficiency, unless there randomly becomes a coin that 3080 rigs, 3090 rigs are more efficient at. But we're gonna tie these up, get all of the power into these set up, and then we can actually close these and start working on where we're going to be putting them in the mining room. So yeah, we're nearing the end with these. We do have to put on the LCD for the new 30 amp circuit, but besides that, there's not too much to do. So we'll go ahead and get those plugged in, and then we'll start looking at the mining room configuration. All right, so we're done. We're gonna put the lids on, and we're gonna name each one of these servers, because you gotta know which one's which, if you're troubleshooting and you're turning them on, etc., etc. And then we're gonna go right now and take a look in the mining room. Basically, all that needs to be done is we need to move this hood fan over probably about 2 inches, and that'll be easy. There's just screws in the back there that we're going to unscrew, shift it over 2 inches, re-screw it back into the back plane there. Once that's moved over, it will be in alignment with this. So these are going to go up above and then flat, and on top of this is going to be the 3 octominers. So we're going to go ahead and start provisioning that, as well as, unfortunately, this is a little bit harder than it needs to be. So this hood fan literally needs to move over 1 inch. By moving it over 1 inch, this corner piece of the hood fan will be wide enough that these can actually be side beside it, so that they can go above the hood fan there. And so we need to move the hood fan over a little bit just to allow for these 3 servers to be able to breach the height of the hood fan. Unfortunately, to take the hood fan down, I've had to take out one of the pipes, and I'm gonna have to take that one out, and then just relocate the hood fan 1 inch over. So this is a little bit longer than I expected, but whatever, once it's done, it'll be done, and we'll be able to have all 9, all 9 of his servers here. All right, so we've got the tubing back in line. That's all set up, that's been moved over. You can see that there's some space between the hood fan and these servers here. And then up here, it's the same configuration. We put a flat piece with a hole for the vent. So the vent is actually just gonna go straight up here and right on out. And we're just going to seal the side here with probably a piece of cardboard or something like that, just to seal the side so that no heat comes out through here. Seal the side, and then we'll push this rack back into place, flush up to here. And we'll actually turn on these three here, which were on before. And then the next step is going to be installing the PDU, which we already have the outlet there, but I need to put on the meter box reader, the digital reader, and then we'll probably get two of these online, which will be really cool. But let's put this back together. So seal it up so that we can turn these three on, and then these three, and then we'll get to work on those new octo miners. All right, sweet. So this 30 amp PDU that we have is actually rack mountable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rack mount it to the back of this server here at the top 1U at the back of the server, and then that will be able to power on all of these three here. This length is more than enough to reach the outlet that we have already provisioned. So I'm gonna go ahead and rack this at the back, and then maybe even start running some cables for those, because everything else is plugged in. We have those all powered and plugged in. We're just gonna fix this little gap here of air, and then it's done. The whole top is complete. Everything is covered, and yeah, this is a lot of weight, but luckily this is a full, like, solid metal chassis, and the weight of everything is being passed across the three bars. So this here and the two sides, and the two sides of the rack. So I'm not too concerned about it crumbling down or falling or anything, because that piece of wood is pretty solid. So yeah, we're about to turn these back on, and just after I rack mount this at the back. All right, it's back up and going. We've got the 6 servers back online, as you can see, and up there the hood fan is going right into the back of this server here. So it's completely blocked off. I have a temporary solution here for this little gap, air gap. It doesn't look great, but we'll fix something up there. And then I guess the next time is we're going to be turning on probably 2 of these. They're not plugged in right now, but the PDU is set up back there, and everything is closed off. So yeah, we're just gonna put this back up, and I think we're gonna call it a day. That was a success. It all worked out great, and yeah, I'm really excited to actually configure the A2000s and then the A2000/3070 rig, and get those up and going on the new 30 amp circuit. So that'll be for next time. All right, so it's about that time that we're going to turn on this Octominer. I just configured the Hive OS config file here. We only have one plug at the back because we removed 2 of the power supplies in this one, because we're only going to utilize one. So I don't need to have all 3 plugged in and all 3 going really loudly, when this only has A2000s, and the calculated overall power, I think, is something like 700 watts. Those PSUs in the back are 1400 watts, so we only need one of those PSUs. So I'm gonna go to the back, plug it in. This will be my first time doing that with an Octominer, and we'll see how that goes. It's a little bit tight, so I'll try and take you to the journey, but we'll see. Okay, so we've got it all set. Basically, these 2 GPU configurations are set to on. All the power in the back is set up by 2 30 amp circuits that we got run at the back there. We don't have this one currently on because it's a bunch of 3090s, 3080 Ti's, and the most inefficient GPUs you can get. So for now, we're gonna run with each one of these rigs has an has 8 A2000s in them. This has 12 A2000s, and then this one has about 5 A2000s, and then a mixture of 3070s and 3060s. So he's running all of those at the same time. I'm not running any of my rigs right now, as I don't see the need to. It's just not profitable enough, but I am running my Chia node, which is down here, and that's got about 250 terabytes of Chia. The one above, we're going to be doing in another video. I have 250 terabytes of drives installed in here. This one's going to be ready for another 20 drives in here, and then the rest of these are GPU configured servers, which are not on right now. This one has 5 3080s, this one has 8 3070s, and this one has 4 3070s and 2 3080s in it, but none of those are turned on right now, and this is an empty slot for expansion of any other projects that I want. So currently the temperatures in here are about 21 degrees in the room and 31 degrees out back behind the servers. So that's all that 31 degrees is getting sucked up by these two 8-inch AC Infinity fans and blown out the window. And this is the only intake that I have, is just a grate of cold air coming in from outside because it's winter, and that's all we need to cool this room to a nice balmy 21 degrees in here. So really happy with how this turned out. And we have all of them wired up. They can all be powered on if he wants. For now, I think we're gonna actually shut these two down. He's gonna do some configuration changes to them, and then we'll see what he wants to mine in the new year. But for now, it's completely set up. All of his servers and all of his GPUs are there, and everything is working perfectly. So I couldn't be happier with it. And again, the sealed off vents. None of the heat is coming into this room because of the design, and shooting all out underneath the deck. So that's great. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Subscribe if you want to see more. We've got a lot of projects coming up that I've already filmed actually. I just have to put together the videos. And yeah, we'll see you in 2023. Happy mining, everyone.